The sun was low, sinking toward the water. In the streets of Auckland, the air was warm and alive. Children laughed as they ran past market stalls. Neighbors greeted each other with smiles. The smell of fresh bread, curry, and roasted meat drifted through the air. On the corner stood Mateo's restaurant. The wide windows were open, and the sound of voices and clinking glasses spilled into the street. The sign above the door was bright with color, painted by Lucia, the local mural artist. Inside, people from many places shared food. A group of Pacific Island families sat at one long table. A young couple from South Asia leaned close, laughing quietly. At another table, an older man told stories to two children, his voice deep and calm. At the back of the room, Alejandro Torres sat with his guitar. His fingers moved softly over the strings. A slow, sweet melody filled the restaurant, mixing with the smell of Mateo's cooking. Some people closed their eyes to listen. Others tapped their feet gently on the wooden floor. Near the window, Leila Johnson sat with her old friend David Chen. Leila's notebook lay open, her pen ready. Her curly hair caught the golden light as she bent over her notes. David leaned back in his chair and smiled. "Leila, do you ever stop working?" Leila laughed. "A journalist never stops. There is always another story." David shook his head. "One day you will forget to eat because you are too busy writing." Leila smiled, but her eyes moved toward Alejandro. He was lost in the music, his head bent close to the guitar. For a moment, she listened. The sound was soft, almost like a whisper over the hum of the restaurant. Something stirred inside her chest. Then she shook her head and looked back at her notebook. Music is nice, she thought, but music is not the future. The future is politics, change, real stories. The song ended. People clapped. Alejandro looked up, smiling shyly. For 1 second, his eyes met Leila's. Then he looked away. Leila quickly bent her head and wrote another line in her notebook. Her hand trembled, just a little. The next morning, Leila sat in a small cafe in Auckland's city center. The cafe was quiet, with the smell of coffee and toasted bread in the air. Her notebook was open. Her laptop glowed on the table in front of her. She typed, stopped, and typed again. She was writing an article for the newspaper. The topic was politics and the environment. It was an important subject, but the words did not come easily today. On her screen was a photo of a man speaking at a conference. His name was Markus. He was a German politician visiting New Zealand for meetings on climate change. His face was serious but calm. His suit was neat, his voice strong. Leila watched a short video of him speaking. His words were clear. His tone was confident. "We must protect our planet," he said. "We must act with courage and responsibility. The future is in our hands." Leila pressed pause and leaned back in her chair. She whispered, almost to herself, "Strong, brave. He speaks like he believes every word." Her friend David, who had joined her for coffee, looked over her shoulder. "Ah, Markus Vogel," he said. "You like him, don't you?" Leila frowned. "I respect him. He has power. He can make real change." David laughed. "Respect, admire, maybe even a little crush." Leila rolled her eyes but smiled. "Don't be silly. He is a leader, not someone for me." She looked again at the photo. His sharp eyes, his calm smile, the way he stood tall on the stage. Something inside her admired him deeply. David stirred his coffee slowly. "Just remember, Leila, politicians are good with words. They know how to shine in public, but in private, who are they really?" Leila closed her laptop with a sigh. "That is what I want to find out. I want to meet him. I want to write about him. Maybe then I will know." She picked up her notebook, turned the page, and wrote one line in clear letters. "Interview Markus Vogel." Her pen pressed hard into the paper. 2 days later, the city was busy with excitement. Posters were on the walls. Headlines were in the newspapers. "German politician Markus Vogel speaks in Auckland." Leila walked quickly toward the big hall. Her press badge hung around her neck. In her hand was her notebook. She felt the usual mix of nerves and focus before an important story. Inside, the hall was full. People filled the chairs. Cameras pointed at the stage. The air buzzed with whispers and clicking phones. Then Markus Vogel walked out. He wore a dark suit. His steps were steady, his face calm. He walked to the podium, looked at the crowd, and smiled. The room became silent. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began. His voice was deep and clear. "We are here today because our future matters. New Zealand knows this. Germany knows this. The world must listen." Leila's pen moved quickly over the page. Future, responsibility, courage, she wrote. Each word felt strong. Each word felt important. She looked up again. His eyes moved slowly across the crowd. For 1 second, they seemed to stop on her. She felt her heart beat faster. Did he notice her? Was it just her imagination? Markus continued. "We cannot wait. Climate change is not tomorrow, it is now. Action is not a choice, it is a duty." The audience clapped loudly. Some people even stood. Cameras flashed. Leila clapped too, but her hands trembled. She felt more than respect now. It was admiration. It was something deeper. As the speech ended, Markus stepped down from the stage. He shook hands with leaders and journalists. Then, as he walked past her row, his eyes met hers again, just for a second. This time he nodded, a small, polite gesture. But to Leila, it felt like a door opening. She pressed her notebook to her chest. One day I will interview him, she thought. One day I will know him. That evening, Leila returned to Mateo's restaurant. The city felt different now. The strong words of Markus still echoed in her mind. His voice, his eyes, that nod, she could not forget it. But here, the restaurant was quiet and gentle. The smell of stew and bread filled the room. Candles flickered on the tables. At the back, Alejandro Torres sat with his guitar again. This time, his music was softer, slower. The notes rose and fell like waves on the harbor. Leila sat with David near the front. She tried to take notes, but her hand stopped. The music pulled her away from her words. David leaned closer. "You're not listening to me," he whispered with a smile. Leila laughed quietly. "I'm listening to him," she admitted, nodding toward Alejandro. The song ended. People clapped gently. Alejandro looked up, his eyes meeting hers once more. But this time, instead of looking away, he stood and walked toward their table. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, his voice warm and shy. David smiled. "Of course, sit with us." Alejandro pulled out a chair. He placed his guitar gently against the wall. "You play beautifully," Leila said. Her voice was softer than usual. "Thank you," Alejandro answered. "Music is how I speak." Leila tilted her head. "You don't like words." Alejandro smiled. "Words are fine, but music shows the heart. Sometimes words cannot." David laughed. "Leila loves words. She lives inside her notebook." Alejandro looked at her with kind eyes. "And do the words make you happy?" Leila paused. No one had asked her that before. She thought of Markus, of speeches and headlines. Then she thought of this moment, this music. She smiled slowly. "Sometimes, but not always." Alejandro nodded as if he understood without more explanation. The three of them talked for a while, about the city, about food, about music and travel. Alejandro told them how he taught guitar to children at a community center. His face lit up when he spoke about it. Leila listened, feeling something gentle inside her. Markus's words made her want to change the world. Alejandro's words made her feel at home. When she left the restaurant that night, the air was cool. She held her notebook close. On one page was written, "Interview Markus Vogel." On the next, she had written only one word without thinking, Alejandro. That night, Leila sat by her small window. Outside, Auckland was quiet, the lights from the harbor shining softly in the dark. Her notebook lay open on the desk. She turned the pages slowly. On one page she had written in bold letters, "Interview Markus Vogel." She had underlined it twice. Leila tapped the pen against her lip. Markus was not just a man, he was a headline. He was power, responsibility, future. He could give her the kind of story every journalist wanted. That is what mattered, she told herself. She turned the page. There, almost by accident, she had written another word, Alejandro. Leila frowned a little. Why had she written his name? She thought of the music at Mateo's restaurant. She thought of his question, "Do the words make you happy?" She shook her head and smiled to herself. "Strange," she whispered, "but maybe he could be a story too. A local musician, teaching children, playing for the community. Human stories are important." She made a small note under his name. Local music, culture, heart. 2 names, 2 possible articles, 2 very different worlds. Leila closed the notebook firmly. For her, they were just stories, nothing more. At least, that was what she believed.